Good afternoon. I'm Delegate Maggie McIntosh, Chair of Appropriations. And today we have a voting session on a number of bills that we will begin with at this point. And I'm going to turn the meeting over to Alex Hughes, who's the Chief of Staff, to the Speaker of the House to present amendments to the HBCU bill, and we will vote on that first. Alex.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm here today on Senate Bill 1. Senator Seymour, who has the cross file of Speaker Jones's HBCU settlement bill, is actually on the floor. The bill is essentially in the same posture as was voted out of the House Appropriations Committee, and as this committee will remember, forces a settlement in the longstanding historically Black college and university lawsuit, puts in some specific provisions for the 4 HBCUs to spend $577 million over 10 years to eradicate the program duplication finding that the Judge Catherine Blake found the state of Maryland was in violation of. This committee's already passed House Bill 1. The Senate added one amendment, and would also offer for the committee's consideration what we consider a technical amendment to some study language in the back of the bill. The most significant difference between House Bill 1 and Senate Bill 1 is the Senate added a provision that allows funds out of the master settlement agreement of the cigarette restitution fund to be used to cover the $577 million. As I'm sure members of HHS are familiar with, the cigarette restitution fund was the result of a 1999, I think, a 1990s tobacco case that was settled with tobacco companies around cigarette use. There's 2 funds that exist right now. One, the cigarette restitution fund that Delegate Nick and his subcommittee are familiar with, is specific to tobacco cessation, breast cancer and cervical cancer research and prevention. There's another part of that fund for the master settlement agreement for the non-participating manufacturers. Right now, our estimates are that there's about $245 million sitting in that fund. And as the Attorney Generals continue to settle the cases for the non-participating manufacturers, I believe they're in 2003. At this point, they might be in 2005. Delegate Haynes might know, I don't know. He's trying to unmute himself. 2003.
Yeah, 2003, you're correct. Yeah.
Okay. As the Attorney General continues to settle those non-participating manufacturers, that fund will increase. So the Senate has proposed to use those funds, and the Speaker has agreed. So with that, Madam Chair, I would ask the committee. The technical amendment is a change to the study language in the back of the bill that would actually authorize the Department of Legislative Services to contract with a consultant to do the MHEC study around program duplication. The bill, as passed by the committee, had MHEC studying itself. As people who sat on the committee with Speaker Jones knows that based on this case, she's always had some concerns about the way MHEC has implemented program duplication. So she thought it would be better to have an outside group do that evaluation. With that, Madam Chair, I would ask that the committee consider a favorable report, or I guess it's favorable with amendment.
Yes. All right, is there any discussion or question about the amendments? Anybody have any questions or discussion about the amendments? Okay. Let's move the
second.
First. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Raise your little blue or yellow hand, please. Okay, I see no opposition on the bill. It's Senate Bill 1, correct?
Yes.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed? Please raise. I have Kettleman, Greist, Mangione, Novotny opposed. Is there anyone else I missed. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Now we're going to move to House Bill 26. Delegate Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee will note that this is a bill we heard really early in session. And the subcommittee took our time with the bill because it is jointly assigned with the Judiciary Committee, and typically we would go first and then they would make their vote after. But we wanted to make sure, given the technical judicial aspects of the bill, that they were comfortable with it and see if they had any amendments on the front end, which they did. They have given us amendments which we adopted in subcommittee to deal with some of the statute of limitations and evidentiary nature of the bill. We also have adopted, although no one testified against the bill, we did adopt some amendments dealing with some of the concerns with the banks and trusts to take them out of the bill because they're really not who we're trying to address. So we have, in essence, this bill is essentially just going after unfair and deceptive abusive trade practices by some of these for-profit, loan companies, college student debt loan companies. So we also have an amendment that's technical. With that, I'll move the two amendments, amendment number 1, which is technical, and amendment number 2, which deals with the banks, as well as the judiciary recommendations.
Okay, any questions on the amendments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
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 If anyone opposed to the amendments? All right.
And the bill did
House
pass
Bill 26.
unanimously. The bill did pass unanimously out of subcommittee. I'll move favorable on the bill as amended.
Second.
Second. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Oops. House
Madam
Bill-
Chair, Delegate Proctor had lost her signal and was just coming back into the waiting room when the vote was taken. Do you want to give her a moment?
Yes.
Delegate Proctor, how do you vote on House Bill 26?
It was unanimous.
Delegate Proctor, you need to unmute yourself. Okay.
I vote for House Bill 26.
All right, we got you.
Thank you. All right,
Thank you.
you're very welcome. All right, we now move to House Bill 216. This bill, the committee action is favorable with amendments. There are 2 amendments. One is technical, and then the second amendment establishes a list of entities that can verify individual as a homeless youth and requires public institution to notify another public institution of the designation of a student's homeless youth status, and requires public institution to establish a homeless and foster care liaison and add specific reporting language. I will mention that these amendments are the Senate amendments. So by adopting these amendments, this bill will pass in the same posture as the Senate bill. So I move favorable on the amendments. Have a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right. On the bill as amended, is there any questions? All right. House Bill 216, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I see no opposition. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move to House Bill 630. Delegate Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You remember we heard this bill last year, but towards the end of our time before COVID, this bill would require school districts to have an energy policy and post it, and then do certain tracking of data based on a form that is going to be assembled by the IAC working with the Department of the Environment. This bill does not tell the schools what they need to have in their energy policy. It is about making sure that it's updated and that it's posted publicly and is transparent. The bill also gets some of the brightest minds in our state around energy policy to think about some creative sources potentially of funding for net zero schools. The bill passed favorably out of our committee 4-1. There are 2 amendments. They were both at the suggestion of Baltimore City Public Schools. One would change the requirement for the energy policy to be updated every 2 years, would make it every 3 years, which we thought was more reasonable. And their suggestion was also to add square footage in some of the data that should be publicly reported. Would ask to move the amendments.
Any questions on the amendments? All right, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, on the bill as amended, House Bill 630. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Raise your hand. I see Metzger, Novotny, Manjoni, Grice, Kettleman, and Beitzel. Am I correct? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. House Bill 878. Delegate Chang.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. House Bill 878 is enabling legislation that allows the counties to be able to issue notes in anticipation of the funding from the Bay Restoration Fund. And the subcommittee for the Transportation Environment Subcommittee, they voted favorably on this yesterday unanimously. There are 2 amendments. Amendment number 1 is technical, and then amendment number 2 clarifies the process and procedures regarding where the net proceeds are allocated to. Move the amendments.
Okay, I second that. Any questions on the amendments? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Delegate Kettleman and Beitzel, you still have your hands up. I bet you're not opposed to those amendments, are you? Very good. All right, on the bill as amended, House Bill 878. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? See no one. The bill passes unanimously. Thank you very much. House Bill 1124.
The bill makes technical change. Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill makes technical change to the scholarship. Move the bill.
Okay,
Second.
no amendments, right? All right, all those in favor of House Bill 1124 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Committee, thank you very much for another great week of work. Just a heads up, next week is our decision-making week, which is kind of exciting. We're getting to a point now where we're gonna make the decisions that shape the budget for FY22. We also have a number of bills that we have yet to vote on or act on, some of them pretty heavy lifts. And I know the subcommittees are working as hard as you can. Keep it up because we've got only a couple, 3 weeks to cross over. So keep up your good work, and everybody have a great afternoon and weekend. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I
Yes.
get 5 minutes of your time right after this.
Yes, you can. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Call.
may I get 2 minutes of your time at some point before?
Yeah, call me later this afternoon.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
No, no,
Thank you.
no.
Have a good weekend.
Madam Chair.
Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.